Broadcasting company TV21 presents
1, 2, 3, 4. The works of Tchaikovsky, 10% is inspiration and talent, and 90% is a hard work. By the way, the United States of America helped me with that, helped me to show.
Not only
Economic situation in country affects cultural life. Well, theatrical, cultural, creative life. Both creative life and creative people. As richer the country, I mean the economic and financial conditions, then higher the level of culture and people are craving for everything good.
К хорошему, к лучшему, и так далее.
Despite this, Dmitri continued visiting jazz festivals and began experimenting with music. He created collage, combined Gershwin with Rachmaninoff and Rachmaninoff with Mozart. At the moment, he was noted by the famous conductor Yuri Temirkanov, who encouraged the musician to visit the USA. For the show business in the USA was more developed than in Russia. The musicians there were well liked, harder, especially for creative persons. But Dmitri didn't surrender, he was living for music. His family also means a lot for him. That's why GUYvoronski had to make a decision to work in another field where the income is more satisfactory, or to leave the country and continue to do what he liked. With a heavy heart, the musician escaped from his motherland. He moved to the USA, where at that time many Russians were seeking asylum.
I came to United States and I went, let's say, to nowhere. No friends, no contacts there. I had to change my ideology a bit, which was formed in the spirit of the Soviet Union, on modesty, let's say, comrade spirits and fraternity.
At first, Dmitri got a contract on a cruise ship. He swam with the current right away thanks to his participation in several jazz concerts, the orchestra of Woody Herman, the orchestra of Les Brown. Then Dmitri performed in several groups. On his first cruise, many American musicians got on board. At that time, there was the Jazz Festival, which was visited by Count Bass Orchestra with the chief Frank Foster and Jerry Mulligan, quartet in which the famous pianist Ted Rosenthal was playing.
When I came to United States, I changed my mind. I became a fighter. Actually, that's natural for Americans. I mean American business, especially show business. However, now in Russia, it's necessary as well to be a fighter and to be very confident and determined to go far. Of course, it was some language problems, communications problems, contacts problems in United States, but many problems I'm sorted out, and actually after 2 or 3 years later, I felt like a fish in the water.
Knowing English at C grade, Dmitri nevertheless got used for his life in the USA. It was impossible to miss such a brilliant pianist.
Я поехал по короткому контракту.
I have joined an orchestra according to the short contract in the United States. I was playing for the many rock and jazz stars, for many celebrities.
Это родоначальник в стиле фанки. Черный, значит, музыкант.
And I was noticed by Sam Moore, who said, "Oh my God, let this crazy Russian play some more." He didn't even remember my name, but then we became a good friends. Well, that's how I made them notice me.
Soon GUYvoronski performed with a lot of notable celebrities like Gina Vanelli, Chaka Khan, Stanley Clarke, but it's not all. Dmitri was invited to work together with the group Yes, but he refused. It's not his style of music. To be admitted to American citizenship is nearly impossible. GUYvoronski managed to get it only 4 years after the marriage. Dmitri still remembers that day. Miami, District City, caught right in the center, in downtown, and lots of people. But the main point which he remembers since that day was the judge words.
No matter where you have come from, you must love and respect your family roots.
And Dmitri really honors his roots. Living in the USA, he is playing not only foreign music. The compositions of Russian composers can also be heard in his repertoire.
Who is the first? What is your favorite composer? Tchaikovsky, I like it. Who next?
Mozart.
Mozart, good. Gershwin. Strauss.
Listening to these sounds, many people started telling him, "You must go to Las Vegas." Burning with the desire to give people the sounds of music, Dmitri moved to Las Vegas, and at first he started to play together with Tom Jones. After some time, GUYvoronski was able to buy instruments to perform solo.
I still retain a passion for skates, the ice, and pack and stick. Well, who knows? If I choose to be a hockey player instead piano, we might be having this interview with me in NHL.
Having only keyboard instruments, he managed to parody the playing of a famous guitarist, Jimi Hendrix. Before long, GUYvoronski presented his own piano show with which he traveled around the world.
I have got a huge experience from the famous performers in the United States, such as Victor Borge, Oscar Peterson, Dave Brubeck, Peter Nero, of course Liberace. He's a star of show business in Las Vegas in 60s, 70s and 80s. It was a show around piano, literally. It was show around piano.
The public received the virtuoso like one of the family. Each time Dmitri grew more and more easygoing. He started to apply tricks and hold concerts. It's amazing. If GUYvoronski hadn't learned English so well by then, Americans might not have received him at all. They had seen so much: Frank Sinatra, Elton John, Leopold Stokowski, Vladimir Gorovitz. These people are very experienced and have high expectations. They are exigent. Thus, Dmitri has to learn to give all he had got with vengeance. The most rated newspaper in Florida, the Palm Beach Post, wrote about Dmitri.
This sexy, hot guy is the most exciting Russian to hit our shores since Dr. Zhivago. He does for the piano what Baryshnikov did for the ballet. From the French Riviera to Asia, from Europe to South America, from Scandinavia to South Africa, this young engine has been wooing his audience to their feet.
Whether on stage or screen, his performances have won rave reviews from even music-harshest critics. Dmitri's range is phenomenal. Classical, jazz, Broadway show tunes, pop music, rock from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s fusion, new age. There is nothing this amazing talent can't play.
Principle here in the US. People say if the audience looks at the watch and say, "Oh my God, hour has passed like 5 minutes," it means they think the performance was pretty good.
The uniqueness of the concerts of Russian improviser lays in the fact that people of different social classes and ages can visit this performance.
And the last one, just for the several hours in transit to Singapore. Today Dmitri GUYvoronski was in St. Petersburg, favorite disciple of Timur Kanov, the star of foreign variety. Everything is in his hands. His playing on piano is a mixture of jazz, rock, pop and classic music. He really enhanced the American audience. Surprisingly, that in Russia his art is almost unknown. As Dmitri admitted in an exclusive interview for St. Petersburg News, he has been always dreaming to perform exactly for the Russian audience. While flying to this concert, the maestro wrote a medley of Dunaevsky and Reznikov music.
The year 2004, Dmitri was continuing his world tour. That day he had a performance in Brazil. At that time, Russia began to recover from the shocks of 90s. Russian film production was gathering pace.
Let's call him a virtuoso. In the 80s, he left Russia for the USA, mock marriage. He was working in nasty groups and as a ballroom pianist in a porno bar. Moved to San Francisco and got acquainted with the criminal world of the USA and with so-called immigrants from Russia. Pay attention on with whom he is on the photo.
Oh my!
The pyramid.
How many friends he's got?
And what friends? With the help of these friends, he created a great show and began to travel around the world.
This episode of the famous TV series Litany was called the Virtuoso. The scene was written specially for Dmitri. It tells about the musician who performs and goes to tour to different places as well. But how can a feature film exist with the catch? Here Dmitri acted not only a simple musician but the one who wanted to make big money quickly. That's why he got involved in a drug industry. The virtuoso is suspected of murder and importing large amounts of drugs. But as usual, good triumphs over evil, and it turned to be that our character is innocent. The TV series Highway Patrol was another one title role. In this film, Dmitri played the role of a famous singer's producer.
Yeah, Anne has released her new album. Thanks. Okay. Listen, I'll call you back when I'm free, okay? Well, goodbye. Bye-bye.
Mikhail Borisovich, when shall we start?
The plot is simple. The producer Mikhail Borisovich counts his word, steals her car, and then he's caught. An antagonist, hypocrite.
Where are you going, Mr. Mogilevsky? You'd better practice music than fight with a woman. His name is well known in Russia and abroad. He's always open to everything new. Lots of different styles found reflection in his art. Classic, jazz, Latino, rock and pop music. This incredible person is a real virtuoso. He likes to surprise and he can do it. Meet the pianist Dmitri GUYvoronski, the USA.
Nowadays, Russia is not what it used to be. Poor, miserable, even people have changed. They remind those overseas foreigners so easygoing and more relaxed.
People are special, welcoming. Northern people, people of big hearts. Is he here for a long time?
No.
Hi.
Well, here, especially for Murmansk, we have brought this very expensive instrument, which is in the possession of Stevie Wonder, Elton John and Dmitri GUYvoronski. So let's play this instrument, that instrument, and of course, the great grand piano.
In March 2013, Dmitri pleased the audience with his new album named Dmitri No. 4.
Alright, please let me hear applause for the citizen of Murmansk, for Sergei Dudetsky and Vladimir Pereverzev. They are already 4 years with me, that's it. I would like to take them with me, but Murmansk won't let them go. Now, the new composition of Dmitri GUYvoronski from the new album. And the producer of this album, Alexander Rosenbaum, sub-producer Vera Hosh, dedicated to all Murmansk citizens.
Dmitri likes the Russian North for an important reason. His maternal roots come from the Murmansk region and Karelia. Also, there are tombs of his ancestor. Maybe that's why Dmitri attracts people whose destiny is somehow linked with his area.
It was a solemn present for all women.
Today he is in Murmansk, tomorrow he'll visit Monchegorsk, and after a couple of days he'll depart to New York and Las Vegas. And of course Dmitri doesn't forget about the audience of St. Petersburg. He is occupied with new projects and certainly will surprise the audience with new performances more than once.